Okay, I'm live, yeah. I'm just verifying here if the connection is working. I'm gonna share you my screen. Share screen. We're about to start, just a second. Just verify here if it's working. I think so. Yeah? It's working. I think so. Very good, very good. Uh, share screen. Why can't I share my screen here? Share screen. Oh, okay. Now I got it. That's it. That's it. Now I'm gonna. Yeah, I think you can see now. All right, very good, very good. So, we are starting now. Okay, it's an online live session. These sessions that we hosting every week during Friday night or Friday evening, Friday night. Yeah. So we start at 6:30 and we go up to 7:30 p.m. And by the way, I need to give you an advice, okay? So next week we're gonna change the schedules. So we're gonna have these sessions on Monday, okay? Next Monday we're gonna have these sessions, and from now on we're gonna have them on Monday, but they're gonna be a little bit late, all right? So I'm gonna inform you in my social digital network because we are changing some schedules due to some new times and dates that I am just committed to. So you're gonna be informed about our new time or new date. Okay, from now on, we are going to Mondays. Okay, we're gonna have these sessions on Mondays. I'm not exactly sure the time if it's gonna be 6:30 to 7:30 because I have another class at that time at 7:30. So probably we're gonna change it a little bit, maybe a little bit late or early, but I still don't have the time here. So I'm gonna change these ideas and communications during the weekend, and you're gonna be informed about the new time and the new date of Switzerland Online Live. But we're not gonna stop, okay? We're not gonna quit. We're gonna continue. We're gonna go on, and we are always going to have different subjects and different things to talk to and to be aware of. Okay, so we're not going to stop these moment. We're not going to stop these session. All right. But I'd like to inform you that we're gonna have some changes, okay? From next week on, we're gonna have these changes. That's it. All right, all right. So. Today we're gonna talk about adverb, okay? So adjective, we're going to talk a little bit about adjectives and adverbs, but if you just notice, if you pay attention to the sequence or the order that I opted to host these lives, you're going to see that we have a sequence, yeah? So first of all, we're talking about the usage of the verb to be in a practical way. Then we're talking about adjectives, nouns, articles, prepositions, verbs, and today adverbs. Yes, adverbs. So today we're going to talk about adverbs and the importance of an adverb. Why is it relevant? Why is it important to talk about adverbs? And how can we use adverbs in English? Okay, so we're going to talk about verbs in general. Okay, I'm going to reveal because, of course, when we think about adverbs, we're going to naturally think about verbs because we have this verb inside the word adverb. So adverb is something related to verbs. That's why I talked about verbs and then adverb. All right, so today we're going to talk about adverbs in general, yeah, types of adverbs, um, how can we select an adverb, or how can we classify each adverb. We're going to do some exercises related to this, okay? And that's the intention. That's why I created this session, this little online live, to talk about grammar, to talk about things related to English, when we think about structure or lexis or syntax. That's why we have these moments every week. We have these sessions, okay? So today we're going to talk about adverb. Probably it's going to be a little bit shorter, okay, this week, because we have, of course, some details and some issues related to adverbs, but we also have a simpler a non-complex way, I would say, to talk about this topic. Of course, like when we think about adverbs, we have to consider that they are modifiers just as adjectives, but we're going to talk about how they work, and that's it. So we're not going to spend too much time in this one, okay? And we're going to talk about adverbs, all right? So this is the purpose of this session. Sorry. That's the idea, okay? So today we're going to talk about adverbs, and we're going to observe, there's a mosquito here. We're going to observe the situations, all right? So as you know, I always start with a warm-up, and I already told you, if it's your first time here, I'm going to advise you that it's really, really important to start with a warm-up. So your public, your students, for example, or if you're in a lecture, for example, when you need to break the ice, to create an icebreaker, I usually use warm-ups because they are like simple and they are funny question or a funny answer. We have something funny, and there's an important thing to consider when we think about funny things. Although I'm an actor and I love comedies and I play writer as well, so when I write a play in general, in general, I search some comedy, and this is really important because when we laugh or even when we smile, we are producing some chemical elements in our brain that make our happiness, or they can bring our happiness, or they can help us to reach our happiness. Of course, happiness is something a little bit thorough or complex, but it's something that we can reach and we can achieve if we start laughing, or if we start making fun even of ourselves. For example, we can make fun of ourselves as well. Yeah. Let me see, just a second here. Okay. I don't remember how I did it. I think it was like this and this. Let me check out here. Just a technical problem here. Mm. Yeah, this is it. I was facing a technical problem here. Just a second. I'm just adjusting the window size and mm, uh, yeah, just a second. Yeah, I think it's okay now. Yeah. So, all right, all right, all right. So, let's go on. Let's move on. The warm up. That's what I'm telling you. So it's really important to make funny of ourselves, and to observe our even our weaknesses and our mistakes. Because through these observations, through this moment that we can analyze, through this analysis, I would say, we can be someone better. We can improve ourselves. We can make it a little bit more aware. And when we have this conscious, we can work on it. Okay, to tackle the problem, yeah, to solve the problem, right? So let's think about it. And we have this riddle here. I think you can observe, yeah. All right, so we have this riddle here today that is what goes up but never comes down. What goes up but never comes down. So we have these arrows here just to illustrate what goes up but never comes down. Do you know what goes up but never comes down? Of course, like I just created this arrow, or I just inserted this arrow to make it a little bit confusing. But it's not that confusing. If we think about what goes up but never comes down, of course, we can think about something like a rock or a ball or something like that, but it's not that one. Indeed, the answer is your age. Yeah, because of course, when we use like comma, go up, we can think about something increase, a thing that increases, for example. Yeah, so that is always increasing. All right, so your age is going up. It is going up, but it never comes down. Okay, you're not gonna have like less 2 years, or you're never gonna have less age than you had like last year, for example, because you're getting older. We are all getting older. So that's what goes up, but never comes down. Okay, that's what goes up, but never comes down. That's the idea of these warm-up. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit funny, it's a little bit interesting, and we have these art sharing moment. Art sharing moment. I just brought this book, Studying Scarlet. I don't know if you know this one. It's called Studying Scarlet. It was the first book of Sherlock Holmes series. It was written by Arthur Conan Doyle. Yes, Arthur Conan Doyle, and it's the first one that shows Sherlock Holmes. And this book was really remarkable because I read this book when I was in sixth grade. I was a duty and obligation. We had to read this book, and I just remember that I was enchanted by the story and the way it was written. Especially because this book, it has like two parts, and I remember that like we are reading a part, we are reading a story, and when it's like getting to the climax, when it's being like interesting, when it's becoming interesting, it just quits. It stops. We have an interruption. Sorry, caused by the author. Yes, the author like interrupts the narrative, and we start part two with something that in the first moment it has nothing to do with the main story or with the previous story. So during the narrative, during the reading part, you're gonna find out and you're gonna discover the connections. So of course, if it's a Sherlock Holmes book, so sorry, sorry for that. If it's a Sherlock Holmes book, it involves crime as well. So it's something related to crime and something related to how to solve the crime, how to tackle the problem, how to encounter the tips, and how to encounter clues. Yeah. So this is something that really is really interesting. I think it's really interesting and it motivates us to read and to find the solution by ourselves. And of course, Sherlock Holmes is really clever and smart, and he knows how to solve these ideas and how to understand the crime in a unique way. So that's why this book is really nice and admirable, I would say. Yes, this book, it really made me, when I was reading, like when I was, how old was I? I was like 10 or 12 years old, maybe 12. Yeah. I just remember that my mother, she helped me to read a book and to know how to understand each part of the book and how to summarize. Like we divided a book into, I don't remember how many parts, but into some parts, I'll say. And after reading that part, I was supposed to write my understanding related to the book. So it was really, really easy to study and to understand. And this is a good tip. Like if you have a book, like I don't have anyone here, but if you have like a a thick book, like a big one with many, many, many pages, try to split or to divide in parts, like of 20 pages or 30 pages or 15 pages. And then after that, after each part, if you read, for example, 15 pages a day or 30 pages a day, just stick or just stamp a page, a white page, so you can write your summarize. Okay, you can sum the idea up. Okay, and it's gonna be easier if you have an exam or test or. Okay, let's go on. Let's move on. Let's start it. And I'm gonna invite you to think about a verb or to imagine a verb. Okay, so just think about a verb, and when we deal with a verb and we understand that a verb, do you remember that we talked last week? A verb is related to a state or an action or a natural phenomenon. So when we think about verbs, we are considering that a verb is an action or a state or a natural phenomenon. And why am I asking you to think about a verb? Okay? Why am I doing that? Why am I suggesting you to think about a verb or to imagine a verb? When we consider adverbs, and I told you since the beginning of this live sessions, the adverbs, they are connected to verbs, like they exist for a reason, of course, is we are talking about English and we are talking about topics that are related to English. When we think about adverbs or prepositions or verbs or nouns or adjectives, doesn't matter. Everything that has or that exists has a reason. And even if we don't find a reason, we can find a function. So, what for is an adverb? What for? What's the function of an adverb? Think about an adverb. We have to think about verb because imagine there's a couple. If we have a couple, it doesn't matter what kind of couple is that one. We have more than one. We don't have just one. Of course, like nowadays, we have some other couples and different ways of thinking about a couple, but in general, we have like more than one. And when we think about an adverb, we have to think about a verb because it doesn't exist. It does not exist without a verb. An adverb, it does not exist without a verb because it's related to a verb. And of course, when we think about an adjective, as we talked four, 4 or 5 years weeks ago, we need to have a noun as well. So I'm sorry about that. So that's the idea, and that's the proposal of these activity. Think about a verb. So with this verb, we're gonna talk about adverb. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to evaluate and to make it up in your mind, create in your mind the idea of a verb that can be connected to or can be linked to an adverb. Okay, so that's the propose. That's why I am asking you to do it. Okay, to think about or to imagine a verb. How can it be modify or modify an element? Okay, think about it. Like when we think about it, we are connecting, or we are creating this relationship, creating this relation between a verb and an adverb. Okay, so that's why I asked you previously to think about a verb, because without this notion, or without the idea of a verb, we cannot understand, we cannot comprehend the idea of an adverb. Yes, when we have adverb, we have a verb. Okay, it's something that is a need, you know. They coexist. They exist together. Yeah, they have. Imagine a railway, for example. We have both ways. We have two ways, or a parallel, something that is parallel. Yeah, to a straight line that is parallel to another straight line, for example. That's the idea, okay, of an adverb. So an adverb demands a verb. An adverb demands a verb. It's a requirement. Yes, it's a requirement, right? And then we have here the second information, that these adverb. Let me just highlight here. I'm gonna highlight here the text to highlight. So when we have these idea of modified or modify, that's the function, I would say, of a verb, of an adverb, to modify a verb somehow. It modifies the verb somehow. Otherwise, it's going to make no sense. If we have an adverb, this adverb is modifying a verb. Okay, it's modifying a verb. That's why it exists, to modify, to change the idea of this verb. So when we think about adverb, just create this image in your head, and it's going to be easier to understand what's an adverb. And when we split, for example, when we divide the word adverb, we have this adverb, we have add, these add that we have in adjectives, for example, but we have add related to verbs, adverb. We have add. When we use add, we can think in addition to. So when we add one thing plus another thing in addition to, so it's a compound thing. Imagine a compound thing. Yeah, a composition, something that is a mix, for example. And add, giving the meaning of towards, to, in the direction of. Okay, when we have something that is directing from a place to another place. So to, in the direction of, yeah, towards, this idea of movement. When we think about a language, for example, or a word, we have this idea of movement. We have this idea of something that goes from a place to another, for example. Something that changes from a block to another block, for example. And what's our movement as well? They move themselves, or they can even move each other when we think about questions, for example. So that's the main idea when we think about adverbs. Okay, adverbs, they are related to these. They are related to add, and add can mean in addition to or towards. So when we think about adverbs, something that is toward a verb, this is an idea. Oops, I think I need to. How can I go back to the hand here? All right, here. All right, all right, all right, all right. Oops, here's the hand. Adverbs change the meaning of one or more verbs. Okay, so As I told you previously, yeah, we have this idea of adverbs. Adverb as a word, or sometimes we can have more than one word, and we're going to talk about it shortly. But we have this idea of a word that modifies or change the meaning. When we think about meaning, we are talking about signify. Yeah, signify. Uh, and this is really interesting because we're gonna analyze and we're gonna verify during this presentation, during this live session, that when we think about our adverb, for example, can have different types or different ways of observing or of analyzing an adverb. Okay, we're going to talk about these ways or the way we can analyze or we can observe an adverb. Okay, so pay attention to this presentation. Okay, you're gonna understand how adverbs work, how are they connected to verbs, and the way we can create or stimulate a sentence. Yeah. So some types of adverbs, because when we think about adverbs, it can be a little bit wide or broad, but we can divide or we can split into different branches. So we have these types of adverbs. So some ways or somehow we can observe these adverbs that they have similarities related to behavior or attitudes, I would say. Maybe we can classify. Imagine that we have like tools or even toys, and they are all mixed or they are not organized. Like the room is a mess, and you have to organize, and you have to split, and you have to divide or to classify. So the same way we had in the previous one with for example, adjectives, or when we're talking about articles or anyone else, we can divide or we can split these ideas, okay? And that's why it's so important to understand and to leave an adverb in a good way or to use it in a way you know if it's gonna modify in a time manner, for example, or local location. If it's an adverb of time, so we can say like it's an adverb of time, or an adverb of location, an adverb of manner, an adverb of degree, or an adverb of frequency. And we're gonna talk about these types of adverbs, but just to make it clear, like there are many ways and many routes that you can understand and classify the adverbs. Okay, so these are the most important ones: time, location, manner, degree, and frequency. Yeah, we have these usages, and we're gonna see some examples here. We have the adverbs, and I'm gonna create some sentences related to those adverbs. All right, so let's start talking about adverbs of time. Adverbs of time. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Adverbs of time. So these adverbs of time are the ones that are gonna change or modify or classify or even infer to the verb, or they're gonna point the verb time meter or a time metric, okay, a time way to analyze or to observe a verb. Okay, so we have here some examples: today, early, now, yesterday, tomorrow, after. And the first item here we have when, because we have this question when. In general, we have an adverb of time. Yeah, we are gonna reach in the answer an adverb of time. We're going to observe an adverb of time. Okay, so, for example, Let me just create an example here. When, I don't know what happens here, but when is, okay, is Sabrina birthday? Birthday. When is Sabrina's birthday? Okay, just a question. And we have these, for example, her birthday, her birthday is going to be tomorrow. So her birthday is going to be tomorrow. It is going to be tomorrow. Okay, so we have this idea of tomorrow. Let me highlight. Let me just check out. I'm not sure if I can highlight this one. No, I can't. What's going on here? Text box. Yeah. Ah, here I found. No color. No. If I do, it goes to everywhere. No color. What's going on here? White. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I cannot highlight here, but I think I can change the size. No. Okay. Okay. No, but I'm gonna insert drawing here. An arrow here. So we have this word tomorrow as an adverb of time in this sentence. Okay, we have tomorrow as an adverb of time in this case. By the way, let me make it cleaner here. Drawing line here. Tomorrow, okay? All right, so that's an example of adverb of time, okay? So when, in general, we generate an adverb of time, it doesn't mean that every time you're going to generate one, but we mainly have these when and an adverb of time, an adverb, okay? So that's the idea. Adverb allocation. When we have the question where, yeah, the question where, for example, when we have where, we can have like above. Of course, you're gonna notice that like above, below, inside, for example, well, but they are preposition, okay, but they can also be an adverb allocation depending on the context, depending on the situation. Okay, so in English, I think you probably know, or if you didn't notice this, you're gonna observe that we have few words in English. We don't have like a lot of words as we have, for example, in Portuguese or Spanish or Italian. Yes, we have few words. So we have some words, they have more than one meaning, and sometimes they have even more than one function. So when we have this question where, sometimes we generate an adverb allocation. And some words, they are either a preposition or an adverb, okay, or either a preposition or an adverb, okay. And we have this idea of here, there, everywhere. So let me just write another question here just to make it clear. So where Uh, the toys. I don't know why I'm thinking about toys today. Something related to my infant, to my childhood, maybe. I don't know. Okay, well, the toys. So you can see they're everywhere. Everywhere. They are everywhere, like all around the room. Yeah, they are. There are many, many toys everywhere. And here we have these. We just adjust here. Drawing line everywhere as an adverb allocation, as an adverb allocation, right? So this is these are the two most common ones, like adverbs of time and locations. They are really really common, but the other ones they are common as well, and we're gonna verify them from now on. Okay. So we have adverbs of time, like tomorrow, early, now, yesterday. Adverbs of location, as we have like in both, below, here, there, everywhere. And now we're going to talk about adverbs of manner, of manners, when we have different manners or different ways, different paths, or different forms to understand, so that we can have these adverbs of manner. That's why we have this question, how? Because we think about how, we are thinking about, of course, the reasons. Yes, the reasons. And something that is connected to reason is a science. Yeah, science is a subject that studies the reason or the function of the things around the world. I'm studying science a lot because I'm creating courses related to science. So when we think about science, we have this how. Yeah, it's related to like experiment, for example. Yeah, when we created an experiment and when we try to understand the steps or the way it works, we think about how it works. Yeah, the reason. I could even write here. Let me see if I can write here this word, because in this case it's really, really important. Really, really important. Reason. It is considered during this analysis. Okay, when we think about reason, yeah, how the reason and the manner, the way, as we have like adverbs of manner, we're talking about manners or ways, or the way they are. Okay, so we can have like loudly, carefully, well, quickly, slowly. Um, so we can have like how was like the sound. We can have a question mark here. Was played loudly. Yeah, in a loud volume. Yes, in a high degree of volume. So loudly. Yeah, this is the idea of loudly. Here we have this adverb of manner. Just underline here. Mhm. Oops, no. Loudly. It's gonna be a little bit strange, but I think you can understand. Yeah, loudly. Loudly is an adverb of manner because it explains the manner, the way, the function, the things related to the skill or the physical characteristics or even psychological, depending on the situation, right? So we have here, just reviewing, adverbs of time, adverbs of location, adverbs of manners, And adverbs of degree, yeah, the relates to degree. It's almost similar to manner, of course. But when we think about degree, we are talking about the usage of the quantity, the amount of use or of how complete is something, for example, or not. If it has something to deal with complete or emptiness. Okay, okay. So when we think about it, let's analyze some to what extent, for example, to what extent, yeah, when we think about something that is absolutely broad or narrow, yeah, we have this idea of degrees, yeah, like 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degree, and so on. Of course, that we use, but we have these ideas. So completely, fully, nearby is when something is close. Yeah, it's next to something nearby. Too, it's too hot. It's too cold. Yeah, this idea. Almost. So it's not 100%, but it's missing a part or some pieces, maybe very we use a lot, but we can even substitute. We have different adjectives or adverbs that we can use instead of very. Yes, but let me give you an example here. Hmm, let me give you an example here. How what extent wouldn't fit in this case, but how is your homework? Or even is your homework all done? Then you can have it's almost all done, or it's almost done. Okay, so we have this idea almost. And we have this adverb, adverb of degree, almost done. It's almost done. In comparison to the whole exercise or the whole homework, okay? So just remembering here we have adverb of time, a location, manners, a degree, and the last one that we're gonna talk about. I mean, of course, we're gonna talk about some of the issues, but we have the adverbs of frequency. These are really common when we think about how many times something happened, or when we think how many times did you go to the school last week? Did you go to the shopping mall? Did you go to the street? Of course, nowadays we cannot go out, but when we think about it, let me just give you an example. Here we have always, often, sometimes, seldom, and never. So always, every time, often, a little bit more, but not every time. Sometimes yes or no. Seldom, we have like few times, like 2 or 3, and never. Okay, so we have, I'm gonna give you an example here. This is how often do you go to the beach? This can be a question. For example, we can have oops, I'm still learning how to deal with these text box. They are really strange. Okay, and we have this one. I never go to the beach. We have this idea of never, right? I never go to the beach. And then I have these drawing line. Yeah. Never as an adverb of frequency. Never go to the beach. Okay, so these are the five of the most important ones that we are talking about today. Okay, so adverbs of time, of location, of manner, of degree, and of frequency. Okay, of course, we have some other details that we're going to talk about right now. So we have questions as I told you previously, and I'm not going to repeat this part because we have these examples previously. Okay, so if you want, you can just verify the video. And we have these questions like where, how, and when. They help you identify location, manner, and time. And that's why they are so important because when we identify these ideas, when we identify the way or the location, the manner or the time, we are somehow identifying adverbs, yeah? And we have this idea of adverbs and the way they can be identified, all right? So when you are interested in that, when you're interested in understand how an adverb works, try to ask questions, try to find questions. So these questions can guide you, can be a kind of a guideline, and they can conduct you in a good way. So these adverbs can help you in your understanding or comprehension process of a situation or of a circumstance. Okay, that's how we use adverbs. When we have questions, they can help us. By the way, we're gonna have another Vitaland online live related to questions. Probably is gonna be the next one, but I'm not sure yet. But we're gonna talk about questions, okay? And I think it's something that we can be talking about every time. We can talk like all day long because I love this issue. I love this topic related to questions and how can someone ask another thing and how can someone answer another one. So we're gonna talk about questions, okay, in a few time. We also have these characteristic. We are about to finish here. We have just yeah. So we have adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives, we have these adjectives as something that changes a noun, and an adverb, something that changes a verb, as I told you previously, as I told you in the beginning of those live sessions. Okay, so we have adjectives as we have bad or quick. Like, let me give you an example here. Tom is a bad boy, for example. Oops. Here. So we have bad changing the idea of boy and as an adjective, yeah. And we also have this one adverbs as we have badly or quickly. So the rabbit ran quickly. Quickly. In this case, we can say the rabbit ran quickly. In this case, we can say that quickly is changing the idea of round as opposed to run. Yes. So that we have run, ran, And quickly, okay, so it's changing the idea of the verb to run in the past, ran. So ran quickly. This is the idea. This is the main purpose, and this is how you're going to identify. Okay, if you have an exercise, you're going to identify this way. If we have something that is changing, a noun or a verb, if it's changing a noun, it's an adjective. If it's changing a verb, it's an adverb. Okay, think about it. All right. We have these characteristic. Most part of the time, when we have adverbs, we have these ly ending ly, like badly, quickly, okay, slowly, nicely. Okay, we have this idea of ly in the end. Finally, yeah. But we have some exceptions, as I told you in during the previous exercise or the previous examples. Yeah. Like almost, seldom, fast, again, now. Fast we can have even as an adverb, or as an adverb, as an adjective. Okay, we can have them both depending on the context. That's why we should analyze and we should understand the context before classifying it. And we're gonna do some exercises in the theater. Okay, relates to this part. And we also have some characteristics here, okay? Some characteristics that we have, like adverbs as a modifier, and of course an adjective as well. When we have really or when we have very. So the movie was very good. Of course, we can have, for example, the movie was excellent. Excellent. But in this case, we don't have the very. So as we're talking about this idea of using very, we have two adverbs. In this case, we have very and good. Okay, two adverbs. And really, the truck moves. Oh, I'll give you another example here. Uh, uh, wow, I don't know what's happening. I cannot think about. Uh, Tiger runs really fast. Or uh, I think you are really nice. Okay, we have these. We can talk about different examples here. Really nice. You are really nice. So that's the idea, okay? And let's start the exercises here. We have some exercise just to end it up. So underline the adverbs. The meal is almost ready. The meal is almost ready. I'm gonna use the drawing. I like this one, drawing lines, so it's simple. Yeah. So the meal is almost ready. We have this idea of almost that's changing the idea of ready. The kid runs fast around the pool. Runs fast is changing the idea of run. Runs in this case because we have this conjugation. The teacher said the exercise was well done. In this case, indeed, we have well done, indeed. Done is changing somehow as well. Yeah. The exercise is well done. Okay. I always eat banana. Then we have always. All right. Here's the idea of always. And Lara combs her hair carefully. In this case, we have carefully. It's explaining the manner or the way she combs her hair. And I woke up early in the morning. We have early. Early is changing the idea of woke up as wake up in the past. Woke up. I woke up. You woke up early in the morning. So early is changing the idea of woke up. Carefully is changing the idea of comes. Always is changing the idea of eat banana or eat. Yes. Well done is changing the idea of exercise. Fast changes the idea of rounds in this case. And ready is changing the idea, of course, of already and is at the same time. Yes. Because we have these two connections. Yeah. It's almost ready. It is almost ready. Identify if it's an adjective or an adverb. So in this case, we have the dog walks slowly. So slowly, in this case, we have is related to the way it walks. Okay, let's just underline the first time, and then I'm gonna type it all at once. Drawing line, yeah. It's a big dog, so we have big, and this one also walks slowly. We have an adverb, big dog. So we have big. It's an adjective. Don't never sleeps at late night. He never sleeps. So never is changing the idea of sleeps, and we have an adverb. The bluebirds are over the sea. So blue is changing the idea of birds, and it's an adjective. Yes. A ball rolls. A ball rolls more widely. So rolls more widely. We have more is changing the degree somehow, the intense. And widely, yes, related to the manner or the way it goes. So we have these two adverbs, yes. And the windows are clear, but this one we have this linking verb are and is related to the window, so it's an adjective. Okay, so we have these ideas here. Let me just write what I just talked about. So we have adverb, adverb, adjective, we have adverb, there's the one. Well, we have these ad, adjective, adjective, we have adverb, too, indeed, yeah. And we have an adjective, adjective, an adjective, adjective. Yeah, adjective. All right, all right, all right. Very, very good, very, very good. And now we have these sentences, okay? It was supposed to be rewritten here. Redo the sentence using adverbs, but I'm just gonna explain you. Okay, I'm gonna write it all over again, no problem. So let's go to the first one. The boy plays in a calm way. So the boy plays calmly in a calm way. Okay, calmly. So we are using this way to substitute the expressions and construct or insert an adverb. Okay. Kevin goes in a quick manner to school. Kevin goes quick, quickly to school. Quickly. Indeed, we would say he goes to school quickly. Yes, because can even go. Let me rewrite here. Kevin goes to school quickly because we use this adverb in the end. Yeah, something related to collocation, but just to make it clear, let's just go quickly. And we have the girls reacted with tiredness. The the girls rested with tiredness. So the girl, I don't know why I'm saying girls. Girl rested tiredly, tiredly, yeah, in a tired way, yeah, tiredness. Rested tiredly. William and Tina touched each other with love. William and Tina touch each other. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Love, using love as a tool, yes. And then we have I study in a wise way. I study wisely, wisely. And the last one we have. Mm, mm, mhm. In the final moment, the host came to the meeting, so you can say, finally, the hosts came to the meeting. In this case, we are using commas, so we can invert and we can use finally in the beginning, okay? That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. So let's just end it up. We have this quote: happiness is a direction, not a place. So try not to find a place where there's happiness, or try not to focus on happiness. We have to focus on our calm or relaxed moments, for example, or in our goals, and we're gonna reach happiness through those goals. Okay, this is the main purpose or the main idea of these quote. We have here this references, and thank you very much. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna let you know if I change the. Let me just stop here the sharing. Stop sharing. Okay, I'm gonna let you know if we change the topic or if we change the idea of our vol. We're gonna continue, but we're gonna change to Monday. Probably we're gonna have it on Monday, but I don't have the date from now on. But I'm gonna organize during this holiday or this weekend. All right. And that's it. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this meeting. I hope you broadcast or you transmit it to your friends or family. If you have something to add, if you'd like to say something to me, please let me know in the comments below. Feel free to comment. Thumbs up, please. Okay. And that's it. Thank you very much for being here. And bye bye. See you soon. Bye bye.